It's Tuesday night, it's 10 o'clock, it's time for Ben Meyer Seattle, brought to you live from the Marcus Briscoe Studios in beautiful Seattle, Washington. Join Chardmo and me, I'm Johnny99, as we welcome Uncle Creepy, the fabulous Mojo King, and comedian Elliot Maxx. Yes, this is a show where Chardmo goes on for 8 minutes, uninterrupted by commercials, against the advice of professional comedians and a team of doctors. Chardmo will go on for 8 minutes without any commercial interrupting, starting right now, Chardmo!
Big Bad Dirty Mojo, or whatever the hell her name is. Yeah! Hey, this is great. I'd like to, first off, as the cow said to the farmer, thanks for the warm hand. Hey, we got the Mojo Kings in the studio tonight. The Big Bad Fabulous, whatever the hell they are, Mojo Kings. Hey, let's have a round of applause. And we also have one of Seattle's top draws, comedically speaking, Mr. Elliot Maxx is in the house. Okay, so I'm getting my hair cut today, right? I like to get that done on Tuesday, and the barber says, "Hey, your hair's turning gray." So I says, "Yeah, so hurry up." That wasn't the worst of my day. That wasn't the worst of it. I get home from my haircut, and my wife sends me out to buy some tampons. Now, we all know how guys love to go buy tampons, right? So I go down to the drugstore. And I walk in, and immediately I see this great big display with this huge sign that says tampons, 5 boxes for $1. And I thought, even I know that's too good a deal to be true. So I walked over to the clerk and I says, "Hey, what's with this? 5 boxes of tampons for $1? That can't be right." And he says, "Nope, that's the price. 5 boxes of tampons, $1. And I says, "Now, come on, 5 boxes of tampons for $1? There's got to be a catch." And he says, "Nope, 5 boxes of tampons, $1. No strings attached." You see what I did there? So this couple have been going together for quite some time. They're very happy. A great match. So he decides it's about time to propose. So he goes over to her house, gets down on one knee, and says, "Honey, will you be my bride?" She says, "I'd love to marry you, but you better ask my father for permission." So he knocks on the den, and there's Dad, pipe, sweater, slippers, the whole deal. He says, "Come in, son." He says, and they sit down. He says, "Sir, I respectfully request the honor of your daughter's hand in marriage." And Dad says, "Well, now, are you ready to accept the responsibility of a family?" And he says, "Yes, sir, I am." Dad says, "Now, don't be hasty. There's 12 of us." Have you heard about the hip cannibal?
Nope.
This guy was hip, man. He ate 3 squares a day, Daddy-O. Okay, this farmer, he's walking, Farmer Brown, he's walking into town, right? And as he's doing that, he looks over and he sees a young couple in one of his fields, having sex. And he gets a little closer and he gets startled and runs into town, finds the sheriff, and says, Sheriff, you got to come quick. There's a couple having sex out in my field." And the sheriff says, "Now, come on, Farmer Brown. It's springtime. Come on, you were young once. They're just doing what comes naturally." And the farmer says, "I don't think you understand. The woman is dead." And the farmer says, the sheriff says, "Well, we better get out there." So they get out there, and sheriff says, "You wait in the car." And he goes and checks it out, and he comes back and tells Farmer Brown, "It's okay. She's not dead. She's British." Hey, as long as we're on the happy subject of death, let's continue in that vein, in a funereal vein, shall we? This couple was happily married for many years, and then suddenly she took sick and died. And they had a lovely service at the church they'd attended all these years. And as the service is concluding, the pallbearers are taking the casket out to the hearse to go to the cemetery. And one of the pallbearers accidentally kicks a wall and drops his corner of the casket, and it hits the ground. And as he reaches down to pick it up, he hears a moaning coming from inside. So they drop the casket and flip open the lid, and she's alive. It's a miracle. And they live happily for another 10 years. It's just great. And then, unfortunately, she becomes ill and passes away again. And so they go back to the same church and have basically the same service. And as they're finishing, the pallbearers are taking the casket out to the hearse to take to the cemetery. And they get about halfway down the center aisle there, and the husband stands up and from the front row and turns around and yells, "Look out for that wall!" Okay, that's such a winner. We'll keep on going. The meanest man in town, just this mean, grouchy old dude, dies. And they have a service for him, and it's very sparsely attended, to say the very least. And the minister, after he gets through saying all the things that ministers say at funerals, he says, surely somebody would like to come up and say a few words. And nobody moves. And he says, surely one among you must have something nice to say about this man. And nobody moves. And he says, the minister's starting to get upset. He says, isn't there one person in this congregation that can say something nice about this guy? And after about a 30-second pause, the guy in the back yells, his brother was worse. Hey, what did the chicken cross the playground? Anybody? To get to the other slide. Can I get you back with some Little Timmys? What do you say? Little Timmy? Timmy! Little Timmy's getting dressed one morning. Yeah, his father happens to be walking by his bedroom. He looks in and says, Little Timmy, you're putting your shoes on the wrong feet. Little Timmy looks down and says, no, I'm pretty sure those are my feet. Timmy. Little Timmy's standing out in the yard with a dog, and the stranger walks by and says, hey, kid, is your dog friendly? Timmy says he sure is. The guy reaches down to pet him, and the dog bites him. He says, hey, I thought you said your dog was friendly. Timmy says, that's not my dog. I read something kind of interesting yesterday. They have this, something's become very popular in India. It's like this instant win lottery game. And it's like only 10 rupees for a ticket. And like if you scratch it off and the dot that's on the ticket matches the one on your forehead, seriously, you win a you win a convenience store in the United States. Okay, I'll close with this one. There's a salesman, right? He's a traveling salesman. He's based in Chicago, but he's on the road a lot. Anyway, he gets sent to Boston on business, and the guy at the next desk says, "Hey, I hear you're getting sent to Boston, huh?" And he says, "Yeah, I sure am." He says, "While you're there, you got to try the broiled scrod. It's a fish. You'll love it." So anyhow, he, as fate would have it, when he gets off the airplane, he's just hungry as a bear. So he goes and grabs his luggage and jumps in the first cab he sees. And he says to the cab driver, "Do you know where I can get scrod?" And the cab driver looks at him and he says, I've been driving cab for 25 years, and I've been asked that question a couple thousand times, but never in the passive pluperfect subjunctive. You had to go to high school for that one. Anyhow, we do have the Mojo Kings in the house, and it would be a crime against nature if I went on any further. So may I present to you the fabulous Mojo Kings. Yeah!
I was born in Chicago in 1961. Well, my father told me, son, you had better get a gun. Well, my first friend went down when I was 17 years old. Well, my first friend went down when I was 17 years old. Well, there's one out shot years old. Well, here's one thing I'd sure say about that boy. He got brave. Well, my rules are all right if there's someone who has to play the game. Yeah, my rules are all right if there's someone who has to play the game. All my friends are going and things just don't seem the same. All right, things just don't seem the same.
Thank you.
My sweet little baby, I'm her little lover boy. Well, love my baby, she's long and lean. You mess with her, you're gonna see a man get mean. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby, I'm her little lover boy. Mess with her, you're gonna see a man get mean. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. I'm her little lover boy. Well, I love my baby like the finest wine. Stick with her, baby, all of the time. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. I'm her little lover boy. Love my baby, a heart and soul. Love like ours, a gold and never gold. She's my sweet little thing. She's my pride and joy. She's my sweet little baby. Lover boy.
the fabulous Mojo
Yeah,
Kings.
that's entertainment, people.
They'll be back for a couple of more. What a rockin' band. I love those guys.
Well, hey, as always, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you watching at home. And once again, thank you very much to all of you folks. Got a good crowd in the studio audience tonight, Jane.
We do. We do. Listen to them. Listen to that.
It's always a welcome change. We just, we made the transition from Friday nights at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, and we just didn't seem to be able to bring that large studio audience with us. But this is a step in the right direction. And as always, on a more solemn note, we would like to dedicate this show to the big-headed kid. Check the hat rack on that little goomer.
Are you going to hit a home run for the big-headed kid in the 7th inning of tonight's show, Chardmo?
You know that I am, Jim.
All right.
I was watching TV, those bouncy Ronald McDonald commercials. Don't you just hate those? The guy's just a little too peppy, just a little too damn happy. And I'm wondering to myself, I'm saying to myself, Chardmo, why is that guy so happy?
I don't know.
Well, I got a hold of this picture, and now I know.
Yeah, a little internet porn for you. Okay.
Ronald McDonald kind of a thing. And I came across this. I did not know this. If you don't read the Weekly World News on a regular basis, Johnny 99, you're depriving yourself
of
important information.
I guess so.
But I did not know that Abe Lincoln was the father of professional wrestling. There he is with his...
I ask you, who knew?
There he is. Abe? Huh?
I didn't know that.
What do you got for us, Johnny?
Well, there's a little survey on the internet of iswag.com. It's an e-commerce solutions company, and they took a little survey, and they said that people who wear Nike T-shirts are 3 times less likely to be seen actually exercising than people who wear Adidas T-shirts.
Well, yeah.
But there could be a reason for it, because the survey also said that the people that wear the Nike T-shirts are getting laid more often. So I guess they're just not burning enough calories. So if Nike people could try to, a little more staying power, huh?
Okay.
All right. Okay. What do we got? No sound? Come on.
You now. All right.
Okay, in the same survey also.
Should we go back to the beginning?
Maybe we should.
Did you catch any of that in the booth?
Oh yeah, we got it all.
Okay.
Okay, public access TV for you there, folks.
There you go. We'll just fix that microphone because Elliot's going to need it shortly. Okay. I'll tell you, I, for one, and I'd like to think you'll agree with this, I'm sick and tired of hearing about this kid. Elliot. And I don't know.
He hasn't sent us one Cuban cigar.
No, he has not. And it's this is one of the family members, the distant relatives, cousin or something that's in Miami, crying in front of 19 microphones. Federal child abuse.
I like the fisherman guy. He's moved into their house now.
All right. Well, I just figure, hey, if they want to see Alien, they can just watch him on TV like they've been making his dad do.
Yeah.
For the last couple weeks. I'm personally sick of it, but that reminds me, John 99. Why? I had to wonder why hasn't President Clinton stepped in and done something about this situation?
I have no idea why he hasn't stepped in.
Well, because the last time that he placed a Cuban, he almost got impeached.
Well, he'll just have to stop doing that, won't he?
Rough crowd tonight, Johnny 99. Okay. Oh, we got the baby with the world's biggest mouth. We got that going on tonight.
Looks like Joey Brown.
Whoa! Okay. And this kind of unnerved me a bit. Millions of beautiful gals are becoming lesbians because guys can't cut the mustard.
Guys just aren't cutting the mustard, guys. We're talking about that staying power. It's just not there.
And I don't know if this bothers me half as much as this does. Girls, you gotta stop doing this. You're scaring Chardmo. 99
That's about enough of that. Oh my God.
One more thing. Got the human butterball here. This guy has a cholesterol count of 1,620. He owns believe this or not, a French restaurant.
But he says it's no problem, right?
He says it's no problem. In fact, if you look in the corner down there, you can see he's dating not one, but 2 of his waitresses.
Well, he's got lots of energy then. Huh?
And the thing is, it doesn't matter whether he's having sex with this one or with this one. That lucky lady is right. High on the hog. Okay. Well, I'm sure by now everybody in the world is aware of Viagra.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know, they suggested a lot of names before they came up with Viagra, and in the light of what we've discovered recently here, John, I don't know why they took Viagra, because there was...
It's not cutting it. It doesn't say it doesn't say anything.
No, it really doesn't
It
say
says
anything.
nothing at all. It sounds like a drug name.
No, I'll tell you a name that would have said it all. Stupanol. No, that's a potency drug, Jandy 99.
How about this one? Salutin.
Yes, sir.
That one.
Or up and at 'em.
Okay, they could have tried this one for Viagra. They could have called it penetratinol.
Okay, how about Priapra? You know where I'm going.
Here's another good one. Get it in.
There's a guy named Mike, Queen Anne Hill suggested this one. Kong!
Here's a good one. Boner chain.
How about Diddlin?
Here's one for the tree hugging set. Sequoia. That's a little out there.
Yeah, it is. How about this one? The Club.
Hey, here's a good one. Pokemon.
Or might I have suggested Nobenditol?
How about Instarect?
There was an elderly gentleman in Hollywood, I think his name's James Whitmore, sent in this suggestion. Miracle Grow, oh yeah!
There's one for the older people too. Boner drill.
Speaking of older people, Jagger X.
And for our Asian Viagra users, Wang Shui.
Ooh, you pronounced it correctly. I'm impressed.
Hey.
Bachman.
Standing tall.
Here's a place about take up on that diet drug. Fun.
And the candy-coated Viagra, they could call that Wooden Plenty.
Speaking of the kids, Erextasy.
And they're thinking about putting it in ice cream and calling it Chubby Delight.
Yes, it's working for me. Or on a more formal note, could have called it Presidential.
And that says it all, Churchill. Oh, here's another one here. Instawood.
You can take your pick here. Thrustacillin or Menicillin.
Thrustacillin.
I'm not stopping till I run out of papers. Schwanzenhance. Pharmafluff. Schwingus D. Bob Dolomite. And to call back to my monologue, I can't believe it's not rigor mortis. All right.
Oh, yes.
That's about enough out of us, huh? Ow. Well, hey, Eddie Muschietti. Excuse me. The fabulous Mojo Kings. You about ready for a couple more?
We're ready to rock.
Well, then, would you please take it away?
I'm sitting here watching a matchbox holding my shirt. I'm sitting here watching a matchbox holding my shirt. I ain't got no matches, but I sure got a long way to go. I'm an old poor boy and I'm a long way from home. I'm an old poor boy and I'm a long way from home. I'll never be happy, cause everything I ever did was wrong. Let me be your little dog till your big dog come. Let me be your little dog till your big dog come. When your big dog get here, watch how your puppy dog run. Oh, oh, oh. a long way from home. I'm an old poor boy and I'm a long way from home. I'll never be happy 'cause everything I ever did was wrong. If you don't like my peaches, honey, please don't shake my tree. If you don't like my peaches, please don't shake my tree. Got news for you, honey, I'm leaving you here in misery. I'm sitting here watching a matchbox holding my shirt. I'm sitting here watching a matchbox holding my shirt. I ain't got no matches, but I sure got a long way to go.
Thank you very much.
Keep your eyes on the road, your hand upon the wheel. Eyes on the road, your hand upon the wheel. Going to the roadhouse, gonna have a good time. Roadhouse, they got some bungalows. Back of the roadhouse, they got some bungalows. Meant for people like to go down slow. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll all night long. Roll, 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 I'm on a thrill, my soul, alright. Roll, 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 up in my soul, I'm on to meet you, got to meet you. I'm just moving my bones up, get to you, I want to get to you, I want to see you everywhere. I'm back to you, right. Passion lady, passion lady, give up your vows, give up your vows. Save our city, save our city, right now. Well, I woke up this morning and I got myself a beer. Woke up this morning and I got myself a beer. The future and the end is always near. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll.
tonight.
We certainly did forget to
And
mention
certainly
that.
run out to your CD store tomorrow and buy Uncle Creepy's bongo solos. You got a copy there, Uncle
Yeah,
Creepy?
I think
Get a copy of this. This is Uncle Creepy. This is like an hour and 45 minutes of bongo solos on one CD.
Swinging.
Where else can you get that kind of stuff but from Uncle
Swinging
Creepy?
drum music. And also, as further motivation to inspire you people to come down and join us in the studio at 1125 North 98th on Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock.
Right off Aurora there.
Every person that is here in the house tonight will have their picture taken after the show with Uncle Creepy and the official Uncle Creepy bedpan.
This is a copy of the CD.
Like my bedpan.
Every member of the studio audience also will receive a copy of the CD.
Okay, we got those sound problems worked out to any appreciable degree, Marcus?
No!
Okay.
Oh, God. So we're, like, our mouths are moving now. There's like 8, 12, 15 people in here can hear us, but we're going out over TV. We're just flapping gums.
Now everybody can hear you.
Okay. Well, at any rate, why don't we bring out our next guest, our special guest?
This is going to be great.
Yeah.
Love this guy.
He's been working his way around town and actually around the country for many years. He's just a funny fellow, and we're honored to have him. Please help me welcome Mr. Elliot Maxx.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's nice to be here. I'm from Ballard, so just to see people up this late is kind of neat. Those of you unfamiliar with Ballard, Ballard's kind of like a large Norwegian convalescent center, and it's a good neighborhood. I think I will start out tonight with a song. It's hard to follow the band, but I will attempt. This is actually a song that I wrote for my kids, because we have kids, my wife and I. We had 4 kids in 6 years, and no more. You know, we finally got cable. But people always ask about them, all these questions, you know, what are their names, or are they in some kind of protective custody or whatever, and they're not. They're out in the car. And well, I left the heater on. They're okay. You know how they get, we're cold. Kids. But I usually take my kids with me when I travel, and I try to make it a fun experience for them. I mean, if you ever travel with your parents, you know how boring that can be for a kid. I remember when we used to go on these Sunday drives with my dad, which were supposed to be a fun family outing. Of course, they quickly turned into some god-awful Bataan bladder march where you couldn't stop until somebody's urinary tract exploded in the back seat, because in my dad's generation it was more important to make good time than to have one. So we would drive along, and he'd usually sit in the front with that one hand on the wheel, the other hand in the back seat, going, "Shut the hell up, you damn kids!" We'd be back there, "Miss me, Dad!" You could do that then, you know. Now they have those child restraint seats. Just hardly a fair fight. But we do try to make it fun for the kids. So we always play little games in the car, like bumper sticker bingo, or everybody in the trunk, or something like that. But we can't do that anymore. We got a hole in the tailpipe. But yeah, you know, they get all sleepy like that, falling behind in math. But so what we did was we wrote a little song to kind of pass the time. And this is actually a song I wrote with the kids. I wrote the words, they wrote the lyrics on this, and it's a little children's song about the things we see on the road as we travel. A little song that we call "On the Road." What? That's the head move you do for children's songs. You know, I know for rock music it's more like, you know, but with white hair it just looks stupid. So I go, "On the road, there's something furry on the road. There's something furry on the road. Could be a possum or a cat, it's hard to tell when they're that flat. It's just something furry on the road. There's something furry on the road. everybody. There's something furry on the road to me. Lying there that way like a four-legged toupee. It's just something furry on the road. That spot that's wet and runny used to be a bunny hopping down the bunny trail. One day little Thumper met up with the bumper, and now he's just pizza with the tail. This is the sad part. There's nothing furry on the road. There's nothing furry on the road. Wait! Did you see that big woodchuck? Oops! He didn't see that truck, and now there's something furry on the road. Haunting melody. Oh, trust me, that'll haunt you. You just wait. Years from now, you'll be driving along with your family, and all of a sudden you hear yourself going, "Da-da-da-da." What's that, Dad? Nothing. Get in the trunk. But, I don't know. I know I have one other song I want to do for you. This is actually a song I worked on with some musician friends of mine. You have a great band here, and I'm not much of a musician myself. What I wanted to do was to write out some charts for me. We had a little problem with that because they play by ear, and I've mostly been using my fingers. So we did what we could, but I couldn't understand what they were going with, with the lines and the dots and everything, because, they had like 5 lines on everything, and I got 6 strings on the guitar, so apparently they were writing for a banjo. But, so this is something I had to put together myself. It's actually a little love song, and I don't normally do love songs. I didn't have a lot of experience early in life as a child. Well, as you can see, I have glasses, strike one, as a kid. And then in 8th grade, I got braces and plaid pants. And really less a fashion ensemble, more of a contraceptive device. But nonetheless, there was one girl I really had a thing for growing up. I grew up in a really small town in eastern Montana, originally in Baker, Montana, which is a small town at the end of an 80-mile gravel dead-end road. And my uncle's a lifeguard at the local gene pool. And, they've had problems. I was back there a couple of years ago for the town picnic. The 3-legged race is now considered a solo event. But, they did take state in soccer. But nonetheless, there was one girl I really had a thing for growing up, and I didn't have a chance to tell her how I felt. I was very shy, and so this is really a song of what I would call unrequited love. And I know on the police report it was called stalking, but tomato, really. So nonetheless, this is a little song about a girl from my hometown. If you come from a small town, maybe you can relate. City lights in the cold gray light of dawn reminds me of just how long I've been gone. Romantic country nights fill my mind with the memory of the girl I left behind. I'll never forget the day we said goodbye, and the way that you looked at me with your good eye. Teardrops running down and mixing in with that little dab of Copenhagen dripping off of your chin. And the way you smiled and the way you laughed, and how nice you smelled that time you took a bath. When it comes to being beautiful, you're just 1 6-pack away. Darling, I'm gonna marry you someday. Trailer trash woman, gonna marry you yet. Trailer trash woman, darling, you're my best bet. We'll have a home on the range where the kids and the dogs got mange, and the family doctor doubles as a local vet. Living as we please on surplus cheese and Ritz cracker mock apple pie, where inbreeding's just another word for close family ties. And you will always be more than just a cousin to me on the day you say yes and become my wife. Trailer trash woman, darling, please say yes. Trailer trash woman, we'll park a little home way out west where seldom is heard more than a 2-syllable word when we're watching Hee-Haw on PBS.
Come over here. Elliot Maxx. Ladies and gentlemen, Elliot Maxx.
All right.
Thanks. Oh, yeah, Trailer Trash Woman.
Oh, yes, it's autobiographical, I guess it would be.
You're a hit.
I hope so. I don't know. I've been doing that for about 23 years now, so so far it hasn't caught on. I don't know. It may not. But that's okay. Show business, that's what I do, so it doesn't really matter.
Welcome to the show, by the way.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Have you back
Thanks.
again. It's been a few years.
It has, yeah. I guess you know they liked me so much the last time. They thought they'd have me back.
So now you originally began performing under your real name,
Yes, I did.
which is Gary Larson,
Yeah.
until some cartoonist started named Gary Larson started. You're not him.
No, I'm not him.
Okay.
I don't draw cartoons.
After
And-
about the 5,000th time somebody asked you if you were that Gary Larson, you decided to go to Elliot Maxx.
Well, yeah. Well, for a while, I tried to put up with it, but people bring their his books in, and they want me to sign them and things like that. And so I would. I'd charge them $1, and because you got to make money. But so I eventually changed it. The Elliot comes from T.S. Eliot, who was a poet. Oh, okay. Just a second.
The Maxx
Look
thing
like-
comes from TJ Maxx.
No.
How are you going to learn if you don't ask questions?
No. No, it comes from T.S. Maxx, another poet, and so that's what it comes from.
Now, you actually won the Seattle stand-up competition under your real name, Gary Larson, did you not?
I think so. I think I was using that then. Yeah.
That long ago, huh?
It was that long ago. Yes, it was, and it's a real career breaker, that thing, and maker. But I don't know. My parents came out for the show too, which was good because I come from a show business family. My dad was a mime.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very, very good mime too. And well, for a while, until his career was cut short when he was tragically stricken with Tourette's syndrome. Very bad form, at a children's party, be screaming obscenities just as you're trapped in that imaginary box, Kids are all crying, let him out. It's just a sad thing. But, so he works mostly with, a handy-capable circus now. But, it's not a whole circus, just him and a dyslexic juggler. But this guy pretty much, he just stuffs balls in his pocket and kind of flops around. He's not that good. kind of a tragedy.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Yeah. And yourself, Chardmo, is that your real name, Chardmo?
No, actually, it's the last syllable of my given name.
And that's all you could make out, or?
I'm a dyslexic juggler myself.
You are?
No, seriously, it's the last syllable of Richard with a mo, a Satchmo attached.
Oh, like Satchmo? So you were.
Chardmo, Satchmo. Yeah, just one of the guys on my softball team started calling me that one day about 15 years ago, and it just never stopped.
It just hooked. Huh?
Stuck.
Yeah. Plus, it looks so good on a business card, you know.
Oh, it does.
But now I read the paper every day, and I saw your name in there a few months back. Apparently, you had an interesting plane ride. You might like to tell the folks at home.
Oh yeah, I was on Alaska Airlines day. I was actually seen nationally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on national television, a little blurb getting off the plane, and now you work your whole life trying to get famous, and all it takes is what happened on the plane is they put a fake bomb on the plane by accident or something, and then they had to turn the plane around, and we all had to dive off the plane, and it was a fake bomb. The stain,
thing?
yeah.
Real slide or fake slide?
No, real slide, and the stain in my shorts was real, and that part was real.
Skid marks.
Yeah, there were some skid marks, some frightening. Yeah, it was a very frightening experience. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do well with planes. I usually I take the bus now, which about all you got to worry about there is some old guy hacking up phlegm in the back. That's about it. And,
Or in the front.
so that's pretty much your problem there.
Yeah, they'll let just about anybody drive a bus these days, or get on a plane. Anyway, well, it's about time we get back to our band. Now we're going to get another song. Can you hang around and join us for a few minutes?
Sure can.
All right.
All right.
Well, we got the fabulous Mojo Kings in the house, and so we're just going to go ahead and work them like a Sunday morning, whatever.
Yeah.
So, take it away.
The fabulous Mojo King.
Come on, gentlemen.
I just want you, baby, to be on my side. Show me your sweet nature and act a little nice and kind, 'cause I've made up my mind. I've made up my mind. Made up my mind. You're the girl I wanna be mine. Please listen to my story before you send me away. Don't discard me, baby, until you heard what I gotta say, 'cause I've made up my mind. I've made up my mind. I made up my mind. You're the girl I wanna be mine. Oh yeah. And act a little nice and kind, 'cause I've made up my mind. I've made up my mind. Made up my mind. You're the girl I wanna be mine. Please listen to my story before you send me away. Don't discard me, baby, until you heard what I gotta say, 'cause I've made up my mind. I've made up my mind. Oh yeah. I've made up my mind. You're the girl. Whoa, whoa, you're the girl. Whoa, baby, you're the girl I want to be mine. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, the fabulous Mojo King.
Indubitably, it was the fabulous Mojo Kings.
Let's talk like we're really important.
All right. Oh, hey, Johnny 99, can you tell me what this is? Anybody don't know?
Why, yes, Chardmo, that looks to me like a dictionary of the American language.
And
English.
What would the purpose of a book like this be, Johnny 99?
Well, I believe that contains the meanings of words, Chardmo.
So, like, anybody could look up a word in here and they'd know what it meant, right?
Any word in English, it's in that with all its meanings and variations right there in that book.
Well, that's not really true, Johnny 99.
Oh, is that
To some
right?
degree it is, but it's not entirely true. Do you want to know why?
I would love to know why.
Well, because basically, sometimes men and women interpret the same word differently. And that's
think
why
I know where you're going here, Chardmo.
And that's why I wrote the New Webster's Woman's Dictionary.
Why, let me see that.
Well, yeah. Now we'll show you how this works. I mean, actually, like as I said, you can take the same word and look it up in this dictionary. It means one thing. Yet if you look it up in the Woman's Dictionary, it means another.
Well,
now,
let's try it.
Well, Johnny 99, why don't you give the women's definitions? And may I say, you're looking awfully pretty tonight.
Why, thank you, Chardmo. I feel pretty.
Let's proceed, shall we?
Let's go on with it.
Okay. Why don't you look up, thingy. What do you
Thingy.
got? Thingy.
That'd be under T, right?
Thingy.
A thingy is any part under the hood of a car.
Well, see now,
The Women's Dictionary.
in my dictionary it says the strap fasteners on a woman's bra.
Well, yeah. So there you go. Okay, the Women's Dictionary. I've got. Look, I'm right here. I'm on vulnerable
Okay,
here.
I don't look up
In
vulnerable.
the Women's Dictionary, vulnerable says fully opening up oneself emotionally to another person.
That's funny. In mine it says playing football without a helmet.
Okay, yeah, I can do that. Okay. All right, let's look up communication.
Yeah,
See
go
what
to
you get
front.
for that. Okay, communication. In the Women's Dictionary, communication is the open sharing of thoughts and feelings with one's partner.
This once again is interesting. And in the men's dictionary, communication is remembering to leave a note before suddenly taking off for a weekend with the band. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, let's look up C. Let's go back to B. Butt. Okay,
Ooh,
butt.
should be interesting.
The Women's Dictionary, the butt is the body part that every item of clothing seems to make look larger. Okay.
In mine it says what you slap when someone scores a touchdown, hits a home run, or scores a goal.
Woohoo!
Also useful for mooning.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, see? There are differences. Okay, I'm looking up commitment here. I
Okay,
want to
let's
look
see.
up commitment, but it's a big word in the Women's Dictionary, and it says it's a desire to get married and raise a family.
Oh,
What is a commitment in the Men's Dictionary?
not trying to pick up other women while you're out with your girlfriend.
That's a commitment.
Yeah, I told you this.
Okay, Women's Dictionary here. Under entertainment, it says entertainment, a good movie, a concert, a play, or a book. That's entertainment.
In here it says anything that can be done while drinking.
That's it. Okay, in the Women's Dictionary, I'm surprised they have this word in here, but they have the word flatulence here, and it's defined as an embarrassing byproduct of indigestion.
Well, curiously enough, in here it says an endless source of entertainment, and bonding.
Totally, I mean, those are like opposites.
Ooh, let's
Amazing.
Let's get into the meaty stuff.
Okay, making love.
Making love.
Okay, making love in the Women's Dictionary is the greatest expression of intimacy a couple can achieve.
Now, see, in my dictionary it says call it whatever you want as long as we end up in bed.
Okay, and here's in the back of the Women's Dictionary here, remote control. Now, the remote control in this dictionary for women is defined as a device for changing from one TV channel to the other.
Now, see, once again, we've got a problem. Mine says remote control, a device for scanning through all 75 channels every 3 minutes.
Yeah,
So
that's what
there
it
you
is.
go. Well, hey, we'd like to thank everybody at home for tuning in, and of course, those of you in the studio audience that were kind enough to come down and join us. Hats off to you.
Tune in next week. Next week, Johnny 99 will be back.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, give us that camera back. We're not cutting it loose just yet. Now, we're not sure who our band is going to be next week. By any chance, are you guys available? Yeah. Oh, damn you
Fabulous
guys.
Mojo Kings next week.
Yeah, you're
Ben Myers,
great.
the author.
That's really
You gotta
great.
hear more.
As was Elliot Maxx.
yeah.
Elliot-
Yes.
And you know, the reason why Elliot Maxx hasn't been back in a couple years is because we were on Friday night, and any serious working professional, such as Elliot Maxx, was, unavailable on Friday.
He was gigging, baby.
This is Tuesday.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks again, Elliot.
See you
Guys,
next week, 10
take us
o'clock.
on home.
Woo!
I can turn a gray sky blue, and I can make it rain when I want it to. I can build a castle from a single grain of sand. I can make the ship sail on the dry land. I'm happy in life with all the powers I possess. You got the key to my happiness, and I can't get next to you, babe. Can't get next to you. Can't get next to you, babe. Can't get next to you.